Hey guys, what's up? It's Yukata Red here, and we're back for the second part of our Sonic 3 and Knuckles Sonic Mania hype playthrough. And we'll see, we're continuing off from where we left off in the last video. If you haven't watched that one, there's a link below in the description. Check that one out first, where we cover all of Sonic 3. I'm ready to jump right back into the fray in Mushroom Hill. Took a little bit of a break, grabbed some lunch. We're ready to rock and let Knuckles do his thing here. He thinks he's real slick, trying to hide Hidden Palace from us. I haven't bothered with the emeralds in this playthrough at all. Normally, like, I'll even, I'll mess around. I'll do the for what it's worth. Maybe that'll take me to Hidden Palace. But yeah, no, I mean, I usually maybe give a couple of the emeralds on a random playthrough, but just for the points and like the continues and whatnot. But I've never been. I'm a huge Sonic fan. I mean, by now you guys must be pretty aware of the fact that I'm a huge Sonic fan. But the special stages I've never been adept at. I've always kind of been a background issue playing through them. Like I dread having to do the special stages, especially in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Some of them are relatively easy, but they've given me fits. I don't know, they've given me absolute fits. Some of the latter ones, like the Sonic and Knuckles stages, the ones that get the Super Emeralds, whew. I don't know about you, but I find them brutal. So most of the time when I play through the game casually, I don't bother with them. Sometimes I do it as a personal challenge to myself when I make runs, but what is in there? Is it a ring or is it a life? Yeah, this one's the one with the life. Not as if we need our lives too much. We have 23. I don't think we'll be using all 23. Yeah, but that's been something of a weird oddity in the Sonic games, the original trilogy anyway, is that the base gameplay, for what it's worth, is not actually all that hard, at least in my opinion. It has its moments, but what is up with the special stages, man? I've pondered this many a time. Like, you go through you're in Sonic 2, for instance, and you'll be casually going through the game, and let me check out this this special stage. Let me see if I can snag an emerald or two, and then you just get met with this brutal, like, you mess up a couple times in those things, and you are done. And they're fast-paced. The special stages in the Sonic games have always moved at a faster pace than the normal game. Maybe perhaps besides Sonic 1, but Sonic 1's special stages to get the Chaos Emeralds were even more bizarre. Kind of had limited control over how, your fate was sort of in the hands of a little bit of chance. I mean, I'm sure, there's people that probably, make it their business to really stick it to those stages, and they know exactly what to do and what buttons to press to get the emeralds every time. And I'm not one of those people. Oh god, rooster alert. Oh, why did I jump so early? Oh, that was bad. We got roostered. Never a good thing. Oh god, we're just getting... As long as we have rings, though, we'll be fine. Oh no. We got mushrooms. Yeah, the enemy variety in Mushroom Hill is oddly large. I don't know if there's another level in the core Sonic games that had as much interesting enemy variety as this game does, or this level, I mean. Maybe Aquatic Ruin had a lot of different varying enemies. then of course Scrap Brain had like tried to have like every enemy in Sonic 1. They should have just thrown bats in there just to make it well rounded. God, Sonic and Knuckles. Man, these levels. Mushroom Hill is not that bad. Once we get into Flying Battery, that's when the gloves come off, because I can't believe I let that guy hit. But yeah, that's when we get into interesting. I usually have a shield at this boss. Let's see how this goes. 3, 4, 5. Is that 5? Let's see here. This guy's not that big of a deal though. Yeah, he's dead already. Knocked him out of the park. Oh, Robotnik. And yes, I still call him Robotnik. I never played the later Sonic games. He'll always be Robotnik. Feels so awkward calling him Eggman. I'm very 90s in that way. Alright, let's see. There's a couple parts of Flying Battery that give me fits. A couple parts that are just over death pits. You gotta, you gotta know how to navigate those spinning things. You'll know what I mean when I get to them. We got this part. Never see anybody get that life. I've seen tons of Let's Plays of this game, and it never seems like anybody knows what that thing is, or they just don't bother to get it. I don't know. I've known that thing was there since I was a little kid. Alright, see, this part's a little hairy. Mistime a jump, and you're going to be on Sonic Pancake somewhere on the bottom. Okay, there we go. Oof. I don't know why pits and platformers always give me this eerie feeling like, oh, and I'm not even that afraid of heights in real life. It's like, whoa, okay. Kind of went a little crazy there. Speaking of Sonic Mania music, if there's a good did they release this Flying Battery in a game? I feel like that's a thing. I forget if it was like if I listened to like a fan mix of the music, or if it was like released. I may have mentioned in the previous video that I've not yet seen all of the Sonic Mania footage and teasers and whatnot, so I don't know everything that's in the game. I vaguely remember there being some talk of Flying Battery, but I'm not entirely sure if that was just a fan thing or trying to limit my intake of spoilers just to allow myself the pleasure of being surprised. I don't know. For some of us, people are like making a big deal, like, oh, it's just it's just a Sonic game. But for a lot of us, this is a big deal. I mean, I may have alluded to this in the first video, but some of us, like like retro gamers, people who have been gaming since the 90s, like, as a kid, the Sonic series kind of made up a huge part of what it meant to be a gamer back then, especially for the Genesis nuts. Like, we know not many games captured kind of the magic that these games had, and it's like, for us, I think it's kind of important for Sonic Mania to get the execution right, to get the music right, the gameplay, not add too many gimmicks, not add too many things that weren't in the original series. I mean, there's a time and a place for all that, and I'm sure the game will pepper in its own, its own little variety of unique elements, but I think that stuff should be kind of limited, because we're looking. I mean, half the reason why people want to play this thing is because, let's be honest, it's a nostalgia grab. We've been waiting for this forever, and it's like, It's more than just like, oh, this is just some random 2D platformer. No, it's like the Sonic games. There's been few, in my mind, there's few platformers that can match up to the quality of these games. They just work. From the physics to the music, everything in between. Let's take a little bit of time to mention the level design in the Sonic games. Barring a couple quirky levels, I'd say Hidden Palace was kind of a transient level. A couple other levels here and there have questionable layouts, but I thought Emerald Hill in Sonic 2 is kind of an uninspired level. I don't know how they made the progression from Green Hill to Emerald Hill, because Green Hill, in my opinion, is a vastly superior level in both music and design, but again, opinions. Let's let this guy whack himself to death. Cool. Alright. He's out of the way. On to Act 2. But yeah, no, the level design in the Sonic games, perhaps more so than many platformers, including ones that most people would consider to be either its equal or better. You know, I'm thinking of games such as Mario 3, for instance. The level design in a lot of those games is not even as good as we like to think it is. I mean, you know, some of it's actually kind of bad in a lot of respects in certain places, but the Sonic games have some of the only truly consistent level design from that era I can think of. I mean, without it being, you know, too cheesily difficult, or being thrown all over the place, or, you know, still being, like, you know, linear enough to where you're not pulling your hair out trying to find a stupid, you know, way to go, but still big enough to where you can explore and, you know, you're rewarded for exploration, but it doesn't get too crazy. Like, you know, you're not going to spend like an hour trying to find some hidden location. Oh god, no, this is the part that always... I've actually died at this part numerous times. God. Yeah, that part gives me fits. I don't know why. I tend to die at that part more times than I'd care to mention, but... Yeah, no, I think the Sonic games are underrated in their level design. People don't appreciate the I guess, like, if there's a term for it, it would be simplistic ingenuity of a lot of the core Sonic games is, like, level design. I think, you know, we're so used to them. I'm just gonna wait for these spiky dudes. Alright. I like going up this way. A lot of people miss it. I don't think I'm gonna... Oh, there we go. And then I get whacked for my efforts. I almost died there. That was kind of stupid. But, there's a sort of simplicity in the Sonic games level design that I've always found genius. Like, that type of stuff, for instance, where it's just there, but it flows so seamlessly through the game. You don't question it. Nothing in the Sonic games feels or seems out of place when it's in the level. It's there, it's memorable. There's places in some of the original Sonic games, like in this level, for instance, or let's say Chemical Plant. The dreaded triple spinning stairs under the, over the chemicals, and at the end of Chemical Plant Act 2, like, memorable areas of levels that, you couldn't replicate it if you tried. And I think that's another one of the elements that made the original Sonic series special to a lot of people, because without trying too hard, it managed to be a very memorable gaming experience. And I think that's another thing that people are looking for with Sonic Mania. Like, we want it to be good because we want it to live up to the same types of components that the original Sonic series had. We want it to have level design where, we'll come back to it a few years from now and be like, oh yeah, that part of, the remade edition of Green Hill is awesome, and, you do this at it, and, it sticks in your head, and you never forget it. Or, this area of Mirage Saloon, like, this, you know, I'll never forget that, you know, that part where you have to do that one trick or one thing. That's what we're looking for, like, you know, not just gameplay, not just music, but, you know, design that kind of, you know, sticks out and, you know, forces itself to be unforgettable. Much like most of this game, which, you know, I think of, when I think of memorable level design in a video game, for me, Lava Reef speaks volumes. Like, I don't think there's a single part of the first act of Lava Reef that I don't know off the top of my head. Like, that, you know, that's a surprise, because every part, you know, every part of that level is just so, you know, like, seems like it's crafted with such attention to detail. Oh god, not this. This is called Robotnik didn't get didn't get a clue in Sonic 2, so I was like, you know what? You know what's a good idea? Let me try the same exact tactic that I used against him before and make it even easier. But of course, you know, we know Robotnik's not one for ingenuity. He's one of those, you know, like, let's just keep on repeating the same thing over and over again and see if we get different results types, you know. But we love them all the same. I'm really hoping for some good, solid bosses in Sonic Mania that are not gimmicky. You know what I mean by not gimmicky? Like, they utilize the same gameplay physics and factors that the base game has, you know. You have to actually jump on them to hit them. You don't, like... that is something that kind of bothered me about a lot of platformers growing up, is, you know, you go through the game, you're controlling your little character, you're going through the motions, and then all of a sudden, during a boss, you'll be thrust into this weird situation where you have to pilot a cannon, or suddenly you're finding yourself in like a jet ski or an airplane, and you have to fight a boss with physics that so far up to that point hadn't even been in the game. Like, what? Like, it in a way takes away from a game when I think, you know, when they do that. I mean, sometimes if it's handled well, like Crash Bandicoot worked, for example, did it pretty decently. But sometimes I think that type of stuff, the gimmicky stuff in platformers, goes a little bit too far, especially when they use it on bosses. I mean, you go through the game and develop, you know, skills that prepare you for the bosses. You know, the levels challenge you, they force you to develop skills, and then they thrust you into situations where your skills are useless, and suddenly you've got a cannon, or, you know, you've got like a crosshair, a reticle, and you have to like shoot, you know, boulders through a cannon at like some moving part on a screen or some crazy, you know what I'm talking about. It's like, what were the developers, you know, conjuring in their minds that they thought this was going to be like a solid gameplay idea? Oh god, I was hasty. Okay, that I was not I thought I was going to make that jump. It's all good. No sandworms. And we are flying. This level's the longest level in Sonic. Sandopolis Act 1 and 2 combined probably are the longest levels, besides Metropolis 1 through 3, of course. But this is it. This is what they call the meat. This is the, you know, once you get in, if you can get through this, you can get through any part of this game. Besides maybe Act 2 of Death Egg, which is, certainly has its annoying moments, let's just say that. I should have took that bonus stage. You know, that was the orb stage, the red stars. I'd kill it in that stage. Oh yeah, this, you have to do this. Another excellent example of why sometimes these games don't necessarily lend themselves to speed, but rhythm. You know, this is a game about speed, but let's put a part in it that, you know, specifically limits you and makes you not able to speed anymore. which kind of, you know, flies in the face of the idea that these games were based on nothing but speed, you know, trying to race through the level and get us, you know, get the best time and all that type of stuff. I mean, I do like the idea of the time attack mode in Sonic Mania. I saw, you know, they released a clip of that, and it looks kind of, interesting. Kind of like a, I mean, I'm happy they had an idea to put more content in the game, you know, a way to get more replay value out of it. Time attack modes in general in platformers, I could care less. And I don't think they really add too much, you know, real true value to a game either way, but I don't know, it looked weird. It looked like it had it wasn't like your normal time attack gimmick. It looked like it had its own, you know, kind of thing going on, so it'd be kind of interesting to see how that goes. I don't know about you guys, but I am hyped. I'm trying to pass these next few days quick as possible because I want to get my meaty paws on some Sonic Mania. Needless to say, a lot of us have been waiting a long time for something like this to come out. I mean, you can only play so many Sonic ROM hacks, and, you know, Sonic knockoff games. I mean, I love Freedom Planet. I mentioned Freedom Planet before. That game is its own beast, and it's amazing, but you can only play so many games like that until you realize, like, hey, SEGA, I have an idea. Why don't you get off your butts and give us a 2D Sonic game? It's not that hard. Or is it? It's like, we've only waited, like, how long? When did Sonic 3 and Knuckles come out? Like 1990, like... Why do I feel like it's not... I want to say 1997, but that's not true. That's not right. It's like 1994 or something, right? This game's old. This game is ancient. I actually get caught by that scorpion a lot. Like, more than I should. I knew, yeah, that's the spike part. Almost got rocked twice in a row. And we are still in only Act 1. This level is stupid long. And the second act's even worse. Oh, shit. That was interesting. This boss takes forever. Yeah, we're gonna finish this boss at a nice round 5 minutes or so, if not longer. Annoying. God, anyone who's familiar with this game knows the second act of this level is a absolute pain in the ass. You've got these little ghosty dudes following you around. You gotta hit these levers to make sure that it stays light all the time, otherwise the ghosts can start to hurt you. You know, the level gets dark and you can't see where you're going, and you've got like little ghosts chasing you and stuff. It's honestly ridiculous. Talk about gimmicks. In fact, it may just be one of the most gimmicky levels in any Sonic game. Although I will give it this. Sandopolis has one of the best classic bosses of any of the original Sonic games. I don't know what you would call it, the little, I guess like the pharaoh or the big brick kind of like machine thing that he comes at you with, where, you know, good old Robotnik. Yeah, now see here, it's all dark and you gotta free the ghosties. Well, that comes a little bit later. I think they come out of, don't they come out of one of the Eggomatic things, one of the egg pods? Again, I don't know what they were doing with Sonic and Knuckles. It's such a different game. Yeah, people do say that Sonic and Knuckles was designed to be it was always a design, you know, from the beginning to be, why am I carrying? It was always a design from the beginning that it was a part of Sonic 3. Which, I don't doubt. I know, you know, there's more, you know, there's people that have researched this longer than I have, that's for sure. And know much more about the history of Sonic, but I don't know, Sonic and Knuckles to me always had a weird feeling to it. Like, it had a much different feel to it than... Where am I going? I hate this part. it's, it's really annoying. It's really annoying. Oh god, here we go. This is where the madness really starts to kick in. Where am I going? What even is this? Hulk. Yeah, we go down here. Is this? Yeah, now we jump on this, and now we just let it go. Yeah, that's right. Again, with the gimmicks, this level is gimmick central. Much easier with Tails. Tails can get to places that Sonic can't much easier. I'm not even gonna bother with that. There we go. Cool. We got a scorpion or anything? Nah. Get rid of these dudes. We are flying, but bound to encounter. Okay, this, we got Scorpion Dude, and this guy always gets me. Oh, got him. Nice. And where are we going now? Flinging us around. That's another thing too. This level's, you know, Knuckles has it bad in this game in some respects. He gets an easy final showing. Oh, this is not good. We're gonna have ghost troubles if we don't make this jump. But yeah, no, Knuckles has Knuckles has an easy final area of the game, but this might be the hardest level for Knuckles. This Act 2 of Sandopolis. This level becomes it's just because like it forces you into areas that Sonic can't get to by breaking. You know, Knuckles breaks through the wall and everything, and he gets to go on another whole route, and it is brutal. It is absolutely brutal. Easily one of the hardest parts of the original Sonic Trilogy is Knuckles Sandopolis Act 2. The game just falls off like a kind of a cliff after that, though, in terms of difficulty. Like, oh, don't want to go in there. None of that. None of that. We get buried under the sands of Arabia here. But yeah, no, Knuckles. I always thought it was kind of weird, you know, Knuckles doesn't get to go to Death Egg or anything like that, but technically speaking, doesn't Knuckles' story happen after Sonic, so Death Egg's already, like, dead? Pun completely intended. Yeah, it was a bad joke. But yeah, no, Knuckles... Are we... Isn't this, like, towards the end of the level already? Oh, hoo, hoo, hoo. Oh, what was that, man? And we are in... No, yeah, we're not at the end of the level. We are... We are actually in the part of the level that is kind of the part you don't want to end up in. It's the... I guess you'd call the fuck-up zone. It's where you go when you, Yeah, no, this is the place with the bubble shit. Yep. No, this is the... A lot of people don't even know, like, they don't ever see this place, because if you do Sandopolis Act 2 the right way, it doesn't take you on this place. You have to fall into that, well, you have to do what I just did. You have to fall into this area here, and, yeah, you end up in... I actually had problems with this area when I was a kid. I always tended to end up here, and it's like, okay, time to... Wait. God, where am I going? Make the madness stop. Yeah, no, isn't it this part? That's the problem. You gotta... Yeah, then this is where the routes split off, that's right. Go up here. Oh, God. There we go. Not gonna have any of that nonsense. Although I do think we're going to have to deal with some ghosts. Oh. Not if... Yay for decent level design. Now, if you're quick in this level, while it doesn't allow you to go super fast, if you just keep up a nice rhythm, you never have to deal with the ghosts. That's what, you know, another example of solid design, I guess you could say. I think we're at the end. I think this is the boss, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, no, yeah, no, wow. Now this boss is cool. I like it a lot, but it is not the easiest one in the world. Yeah, no, now we're gonna be I just walked right into that. Okay, so we're off to a ripping start. Yeah, no, this guy can be a problem. Not to mention, this is one of those weird bosses in this game that has limited time. If you let him get too far to the wall back there, you will run out of space, and he will push you against the wall and crush you. So, yeah, that's cool. I don't mind that. And we are at 32 lives. Wow. Of course, we lost our score. I did quit out of the game for the second part, so none of that. I think what would we get up to, like half a mil or something? Alright. Lava Reef time. Favorite level in the game. It's also one of the hardest. Holy crap, that was close. Don't know what I was doing there. I don't know, this level's cool. It's not one of the quicker levels. If you go fast in Lava Reef, you will get punched. There's a few areas where you can kind of speed along, but you will get whacked if you try to race through it like you think you know what's going on, because you've got lava falls and giant spiked balls and like that thing. There's a life over here, yeah. I don't know why. It's just it's literally out of habit. I mean, I end these playthroughs when I go through these games. I always end up with like 40 plus lives in the end, and I don't even try. It's just what happens. And I'm not even doing like you can really rack up the lives if you actually do all the bonus stages and the special stages. All right, let's see how. There's a decent amount of shields in this level. Like just because you lose your fire shield early doesn't mean you won't get another one. But since like half the traps in this level are fired, you kind of want to keep. That's speaking of gameplay mechanics. That's another element of Sonic Mania that I am extremely happy that they brought back. The elemental shields. Talk about a simple but awesome gameplay mechanic that just, wow, we're racking up the lives. Yeah, talk about a simple, awesome game mechanic that just, it took the idea of the shields, it took a simple thing from Sonic 1 and Sonic 2, and there goes our shield. And just, you know, not only did it, you know, protect you from certain traps, you know, each shield protects you from different elements, or you know, lets you breathe underwater, but they also have, like, a secondary jump effect when you control Sonic. So, I mean, effortless, but so effective in terms of solid gameplay. And they brought, I think, all three of the shields, and I believe the normal, just the basic shield, is also in Sonic Mania. I don't necessarily know that for a fact, but I thought I saw a video where he just had, like, I guess, like, the basic blue shield, which is kind of funny because up to this point, there really hasn't been a classic 2D Sonic game with all the shields, the fire, the lightning, the bubble, and the normal shield, besides ROM-Hacks. There's been a few, like, I think Sonic Classic Heroes has it, and that's another game I'm going to be featuring on this channel, by the way. We are going to do a Sonic Classic Heroes casual run. Maybe Sonic only. I don't like it with, like, all the characters. But yeah, no, Sonic Classic Heroes did it. Like, maybe SEGA, maybe the Sonic team took a page from the ROM hack. It was like, you know what? like all 4 shields in it. Yeah, because Sonic 3D Blast certainly didn't. I don't know if there's like a modern day 3D, modern day platformer, I mean modern day Sonic game that has all the 4 shields in it. And if you might want to inform me in the comment section below if that is the case. But yeah, I do believe this is the first Sonic game with all the shields. So, that's cool. Just a lot of things to be excited about with Sonic Mania. Updated graphics. There's another, speaking of gameplay, the aspect ratio is going to be updated for Sonic Mania, which means that you notice the square, I guess what they call it, the 4:3 aspect ratio of the old school, these types of, this era of gaming had. Wow, I went right through that spike. Yay for the Insta Shield. I wonder if they're keeping that. I haven't seen it in any videos, but yeah, no, the new Sonic game, yeah, Sonic Mania is going to have widescreen aspect ratio, which is it's gonna kind of make the game feel a little weird. It's gonna be a little different. You're used to having Sonic at the center of attention. He's got oh, I got a fire shield. Maybe I should just like cut my losses. Yeah, solid. I think the boss is just right here anyway. Yeah, fire shield helps out in this fight. Oh, why'd I do that? I thought the hand was gonna pop up first. So you can play these games a million times and... But yeah, no, having the better, the high quality... Let's get this guy out of the way. This boss can be a problem, because this hand, if you're not good with timing, can crush you, and that's not good. Well, yeah, the better aspect ratio is gonna just, it's just gonna lend to better looking playthrough. It's gonna look nicer on bigger screens. It's probably gonna look amazing. Actually, didn't they say it was gonna be 60 frames per second? It's gonna be gorgeous on the PlayStation 4, which is the platform I'll be playing it on. I heard the PC, they released today, the PC version's going to be delayed. RIP PC Master Race. I feel bad for those poor saps. I actually was considering getting the PC version too, because I do game on PC regularly, but I am glad that I made the jump to PlayStation 4, because I'd be salty right now if I had to wait another week. I mean, it's not a big deal in the grand scheme of things, but listen, I want my Sonic Mania. They're playing games. Sega's over there playing games with people's emotions, like delaying the game. I know. I think it's going to actually be delayed by 2 weeks. Yeah, the release is the 15th, and they're holding it till the 29th. No, that's not good. I feel so bad for our PC brethren out there, but what can you do? What did I just do, actually? Did I just go on like a wait? It's not a way. Okay, yeah, up there. What am I doing? This is an interesting level. Lava Reef Act 2. One of the weirdest games, or one of the weirdest levels, I should say, in any of the Sonic games. It's got kind of a... It's one of the only levels that's completely different in the second act than it is in the first. Different music and everything. Again, it's one of those weird quirks that makes the Sonic game special. Like, there you go. Lava Reef Act 2 almost... that's you're going through like Lava Reef Act 1, which is kind of like a normal level, and then you get to this level, and it's all of a sudden, you're in this place that's kind of got like a mystical feel to it. I don't know how to explain it, but... And it's the perfect lead up into Hidden Palace. Well, that was bad. Kind of need my fire shield. This is one of the only levels in the game where having the fire shield or having the recluse's shield. Hydrosity, you need the bubble shield, like to not just die. You need the bubble shield. And for this level, the fire shield is essential. I mean, there is a way that you can, for anyone who's really familiar with the game, you can grab a fire shield right at the boss, But if you try to take on that boss without... There we go. Hey, let's see if we can get out of here without getting another shield. Nice. Oh god. Yeah, the fire shield is absolutely essential for the boss at this level. I mean, is the boss possible without it? Yeah, of course it is. It's not the hardest thing in the world, but it takes what is a generally easy-ish fight into something where you actually have to, like, kind of, you know, gets kind of hectic. Alright. We are on the home stretch. There's another one of the fire shields. We don't, hopefully, need it. Although, I think right up here, there's actually a place where it's easy to get hurt. Knowing me, that's what'll happen to me. Because... Oh yeah, this part. Always fun. Again, weird level gimmicks. Gotta love them. Yeah, that's right. Go up here. Be interesting to see how they use the different shields in Sonic Mania. Like, will there actually be... I mean, I'm sure that they've got to put in, like... we've seen Wooder in the Green Hill preview. But it makes me wonder just how much... Oh. Just how much Wooder will be a factor in Sonic Mania, because in this... I mean, in Sonic 3, they had Wooder in 4 or, what, 5 out of the 6 levels. No Wooder in Sonic and Knuckles, though, which is odd, you know, when you really think about it. But, okay, we're actually almost close to the end of this thing already, and then we just gotta hope we traverse the little trick part at the end of this level, which is notoriously a pain in the butt. That. And we'll be pretty much home free, because I never really liked this part. It's kind of a pain. Knuckles is about to slam us into the depths. Alright, here we go. This part is one of the more difficult parts of Sonicdom. We have 41 lives though, so if need be, I can certainly die enough. Tell you what though, for this part being a pain, it's really, really cool. You got Death Egg in the background, almost about to launch. You've got good music. You've got one of the hardest places in the game to navigate, and I, by mistake, got the lightning shield, so I'm gonna have to make my way over yonder. Whew. This part drives me bananas. Whew. Alright, we are just flying through this game, folks. Now, here's another part where, again, I don't know where people got in their heads where this game's supposed to be like, you know, oh, you gotta race through. But there's no racing through anything here. This is called letting Robotnik act like an asshole and kill himself. That's basically what this is. So we gotta do just that. We gotta patiently wait until he just bombs himself to death. That's another thing too. I wonder if there'll be, you know, we're probably due for. Oh, I got hurt. I don't usually get. Oh, uh-oh. Hold that thought. It's been a long while since I've ever actually had to pay attention to this part. Oh, and I died. Oh no. Well, that's not good. That's not cool. That may actually be one of the first times I've ever died at that boss. I've died at this part before, especially years ago. Those jumps used to give me fits, but that's really what can happen if you don't pay attention. Huh. I take for granted just how squishy you are in this game when you don't have any rings. You lose all your rings, and this game becomes a absolute nightmare, especially areas like this. Yeah, like I was saying before, I wonder what they'll do in terms of like a fire level. Like, you know, they had Hilltop in Sonic 2, which had its lava and everything. And then, of course, we've got this level. And Marble Zone in Sonic 1. I wonder if there'll be some kind of like... You know, I think the Sonic series, you know, Hilltop kind of falls in that category. I feel like the Sonic series is well overdue for a good, like, prehistoric level. Like, you know, like some straight up, you know, little dinosaurs and, you know, something of that ilk. Volcano, like maybe like a... Well, isn't this supposed to be a volcano? I don't know. I just feel like something along those lines might be fun to see. Or like a mine. Well, there's Mystic Cave. Yeah, the original Sonic games pretty much covered it all. I just think they could kind of, you know, it would be really cool to see. I mean, I doubt they would do this because, you know, this is just the ramblings of a uber fan. But wouldn't it be cool to see a remake of one of the Sonic 3 two-player race levels, like Balloon Park, or that would be Balloon Park, because we've seen footage of, like, you know, I guess the requisite carnival casino level already, but on the Hidden Palace we go. But yeah, no, like Chrome Gadget. I'd take some Chrome Gadget or some Endless Mine. I mean, Sandopolis is practically Desert Palace, so, you know, nobody cares about that. If they actually made a full version of Azure Lake, I'd be pretty happy. You know what though? There's actually, like, you know, if you really want to go down that route, there actually is a kind of like a modern day version of Azure Lake, and it's in Freedom Planet. There's this level in Freedom Planet, I believe it's called Jade Lagoon is the level I think I'm thinking of, which is, you would literally, I mean, obviously the game was inspired by Sonic, so I mean, it very well could be a Azure Lake, like an ode to Azure Lake or something, but it for all intents and purposes might as well be Azure Lake. It has the same exact type of feel, almost the same type of like music, has that kind of like mystical outdoors music going on. I always love this part of this game. Got the Great Betrayal. Knuckles is like, give me back my emerald. I don't know why I like hitting them there, it's just very satisfying. Knuckles doing what he does best, punch things. Alright. And off to Sky Sanctuary we go. We are closing in on the final moments of the playthrough already. I gotta wait for this thing to do its business. Do I have exactly 120,000 score? That's crazy. Alright. This level's kind of interesting, and while it doesn't have death pits specifically. It's one of the only levels in the history of Sonic that I really recall where the entire level is a progressive, I guess you would call it like a fuck-up zone. Like you end up, if you progress through the level and then you fall, you don't die, you just end up in a previous part of the level, and it has one of the better, more dynamic level designs of any of the Sonic games, because it just repeats on itself. And of course, you know, it's got the old school shout outs to the old Sonic game bosses, which is awesome. I mean, they've really hit it out of the park with this game. I mean, it can't be stressed enough how just delicious Sonic 3 Knuckles is as just a game. I mean, it's just solid in every way, shape, and form. Some boss rehashes. I mean, at this point, I mean, I think we can expect it. There's going to be at least one repeat boss in Sonic Mania, right? And I'll be happy to see it. Yes. Talk about iconic. You know, some of the bosses in this game, you know, they've stood the test of time. They're what do you call it? Just memorable. Especially you know, of course, that one, the Green Hill, very first, you know, boss of the series. Not a difficult one at that. I mean, if you don't know its pattern, you can get overwhelmed by it pretty easily. Not this one, not that one that's in Sky Sanctuary, though. That one's kind of a joke because you have the insta-shield, and I think it's lower or something, like it's easier to hit it. I don't know. Same thing with this thing, the insta-shield kind of, I'm actually at a disadvantage with the fire shield, although it allows you to do that. Like, you know, this is Metropolis's boss, by the way, for anyone who's not initiated. This is from Sonic 2. See, the thing about this, yeah, you can get like, well, you can't, normally the thing that makes this boss difficult is that Sonic cannot reach it when it's up in the air like that in Sonic 2. But with this game, you can just shoots his little lasers and cinch. It's not like that in Sonic 2. It's still a manageable boss, but it's nowhere near that easy. The different physics to this game, and like the higher jumps, and I don't know if you jump high or what, it's just different. And it allows you to really just manhandle those bosses. Same thing with the one that's coming up, which is actually a rehash of the Sonic 2 Robo-Sonic fight, which, you know, from the first video, you know my thoughts on that boss. It's a pain in the ass. That's the easiest way to say it, but this version of the boss, when you fight him here, is 100% easier. It is a completely different fight. And we have another life, so we got that life back we lost stupidly in Lava Reef, which again, I was thinking, like, I don't remember the last time I actually died at that fight. It's kind of funny. It reminds me of a long time ago. I was like a little kid. I did a taping. How's this for old school? I was doing Let's Plays when I was like a little stupid kid, and on taping my gameplay on VHS. It's like, but I remember doing a run through of Sonic 2 actually, and I wanted to do a no death run. I wanted to try to go through the entire game without dying, which, you know, is wow, I can't believe I got that extra hit in. That was actually kind of stupid. But yeah, I wanted to do a whole playthrough of Sonic 2, and you know, I was just going through the whole game. Got to Sky Chase, and hadn't died yet. If you can believe that. Hadn't even barely gotten hurt. I think at that point I've gotten hurt like maybe 2 or 3 times in the whole game, which, if you know anything about Sonic 2, is no easy feat when you have levels like Aquatic Ruin and Metropolis that, you know, have just a stupid number of enemies and traps and little things you can hurt yourself on by mistake if you're not careful. Well, here I am at Sky Chase, hadn't died yet, feeling, you know, real cozy, just playing through the game, and you know, I'm stunning. I'm like, you know what, like I can do it all. I'm just that damn good. And I was going to kill the group of enemies. There's like this part of the level where there's this cluster of flying enemies, and instead of jumping on them like I've done every other time that I've ever encountered them, I turboed. And I don't know why I did this, because, I mean, it's not like I didn't know, but when you turbo in Sky Chase, it's the only way to fall off the plane. You can actually fall, I mean, I don't think a lot of people actually know this, you can fall off that plane in Sky Chase. That was weird. Yeah, but you can fall off that, the little biplane that Tails is riding you in, and you can ride you that well. Bad choice of words. Anyway, anywho, you can fall off that plane. I hate this part. Right, we got past that pretty easily. Yeah, but you can fall off that plane. I knew that was coming. And I turboed off the plane and immediately died. Immediately fell in the pit. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Like, it didn't throw me off my game any. I actually did go on to beat the rest of the game, I think, without dying, including the last boss, which, you know, I think I was like a little kid at the time. I was like 13 or something stupid like that. So, I mean, that was a feat in and of itself. But just the fact that I do like a no-death run of Sonic 2, you know, just to do it because I was like, yeah, you know, I'm good at this game. I like doing this game. It's fun. Da 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 da. And here to find out, I die in Sky Chase. So every good run, you know, made it a little bit more memorable. I don't remember the last time I died at Lot 3. Let's see if we can get through the rest of the game without dying. But you know, that's an automatic jinx. I shouldn't have even said that. It's actually stupidly easy to die in Death Egg, this level. There's a couple parts in it, or if you get overwhelmed, you can easily just... There's also, I think, a couple death pits in this level, or like the lightning pits. Areas where you can get crushed. These stupid things, which are very easy to get hurt on, and I'm going to... Yeah, I was kind of... I don't know what happened there. What the... That was different. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Like I said, you can discover something new every time you play these games. The ledge comes back for you if you drop off it. That's actually kind of cool. I think that's the pit right there. That's the death pit. Yeah, I've died at that before. Not this annoying part. This used to give me fits when I was a kid, and it still does to this day. Let's see, kid, and how quick I can actually get us past this. There we go. All red. If you don't know what you do with this part, you have to hit. You have to turn all of these little bumpers red by hitting them, and it's. I didn't have the best core. Well, there we go. That was one of the fastest times I've ever actually gotten through that, which. That's karma for dying at that boss. But yeah, no, we're not out of the water yet with this game. There's still, I always do that. I'm stupid. But, yeah, we still have the second act. Well, the mid-boss of this level, the boss that's coming up in this act is no picnic either. In fact, he is something of a problem. Which... Am I already at it? No. Yeah? Wow. Okay. Let the games begin. This thing is a royal pain in the ass. Just gotta be really patient with this guy, but... I don't know what I was doing there. I like being on this side of the screen better. I got kind of mixed up there. Alright, now this part's hard, especially without like a shield. I usually have like a... I mean, it's easy to have a lightning shield here if you know what you're doing. Yeah, see, he can get... He is a nasty boss. Hopefully he won't hit me. Yeah, see, he does not go all the way to the end of the screen, which... If he did, this boss would actually be twice as hard, because... That would make this, a little overkill. Sure, there's quicker ways to kill this thing, but... We don't want quick, we want efficient. We want what works. There we go. Ha! I think I knocked the sign out of the range of the platform that we're about to drop onto, so it is going to fall back down to Earth. Somebody's going to get beamed on the head with a sign in a few minutes. Alright, final level of the game. Here we are. We blasted through this game. I think it's been a while. It's been a few years since I've beat this game all in one day. I mean, I play it casually from time to time. You know, I think the last time I played it was about a year ago. A year and a half, something like that, but I can't remember a time I ever just barreled through the entire game all in one go. That's hype for you. I'm all ready for the Sonic Mania. Speaking of the hype, leave a comment below and tell me what you guys think is the kind of like, what are you most excited about for the game? Well, kind of getting hasty here. I think there's an enemy here too, right? That was dangerous. But yeah, tell me what you guys are kind of most excited about. I think that Sonic Mania. Wow, I'm just getting trashed right now. But Sonic Mania is the type of game that it has something for it. Potentially will have something for everyone. I gotta hit that checkpoint, because this part is hard without any rings. Wow. That was different. But yeah, I think it has something for everyone, really. I think a lot of people want to play it just to see. I mean, I've seen several comments on YouTube, like, you know, just people interested in the soundtrack, pretty much. Like, that's what they want. They want remixes and stuff, and, you know, nostalgia fuel, in other words. They're just looking for that. And other people, I think they're looking for, like, you know, new innovative Sonic experience, like something that is just like the original Sonic games, but still has enough to keep them, you know, like something new, like something completely fresh that hasn't been in the series before. Uh-oh. We might meet our maker here. We are having some narrow misses in this one. Ooh. I actually forgot how brutal this level is. They throw it all at you. Mind you, the gravity gimmick I always thought was fun. That's not nearly the problem. The problem in this level is there are traps everywhere and the enemies are a pain to deal with. Yeah, see that. But we're managing. We're slowly crawling our way towards our goal here. Record time. I really don't think I've ever beaten this game this fast. I usually take the time to explore a little bit more, but I wanted to bang this out all in one day. Seamless playthrough, kind of just see the sights, kind of old school tour style. We actually aren't very far from the end already. I think there's one more part with like the lightning and the ledges and all that stuff, and it's kind of difficult. You get through it, you get to keep your lightning shield for the boss. But I think we're at the boss. I think that's what this is. Not the last boss, but the boss of Death Egg, which is This thing, one of my favorite bosses in the history of Sonic. It is so, I don't know what this thing is even supposed to be. Robotnik was, he was having a night when he invented this thing. He was like, you know what? You know what's going to defeat Sonic? Like, this little pinball robo head that drops little babies. That's what's going to get the job done. Like, everything else up to this point's failed. You know, giant machines, Robo-Sonics, you know, machines with lasers and all types of other stuff. The deciding factor in my victory over the Hedgehog will be little head that spits out little spiky helmets. I don't even know what's going on. Let's get it out there now. I don't know. Alright, maybe. You just bounce around a few times. Hope the elevators don't send you in the path of any of those needles that spit out. Yeah, nothing to it. And we are at the last boss, friends. We are at the last boss. Yeah, I really don't think you don't get rings, do you? If you die at if you die at this thing, you don't get rings. So. Do you? Yeah. All right. This is where he tries to daintily crush you with his fingers. Like, he's got like these giant hands. You know, he could easily pick me up and crush me, but he wants to like. He wants to just, you know, grip the platform, just crush, just a little crush. I don't like not having shield for this thing. This is gonna be fun. It's gonna be a little bit of a. Oh, that was kind of close. I don't know how many hits this thing takes. I think it's more than a normal boss. I'm not sure. We hit it 4 times already. I tend not to even pay attention to hits in this boss. I just pay attention to the timing of the laser. That's the key to this fight. It looks and feels difficult, but if you time it... Yeah, he's... This part I actually consider to be somewhat more difficult than the actual boss, because if you hit him at the wrong angle, you'll just get sent flying off the ledge like a fool. It's actually kind of ridiculous. But I actually never run at max speed in this fight, because if you're at max speed and you hit him, you have a chance to just get sent flying. It's, again, about rhythm. You don't want to go too fast. You just want to keep up, and that's it. We have effectively knocked out the entirety of Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I had fun playing this, going back to this today. I mean, I'm sure like many of you, I've been having, you know, Sonic on the brain lately. I wanted to get this out. What better way to, you know, celebrate the release of Sonic Mania than just revisit these old games? Actually, it's so funny because I remember, you know, years ago playing these games. It's like they seem so, you know, massive. I've spent days before toiling over, you know, levels like Lava Reef, Sandopolis Act 2, Launch Base with Knuckles. Launch Base with Knuckles is a problem. I didn't mention it when we were in there, but he's got this different section that's completely, you know, makes Sonic's part of the level look like, you know, a complete cakewalk. And, you know, you go through these levels when you're a kid, and it's, you die 100 times and you learn them and everything. And, you know, now it's like, let me just casually bang out the whole game in a day, just, you know, just for fun. I had a blast, though. Hopefully we can get out more, you know, as soon as Sonic Mania gets released, I'm gonna be coming at you guys with the review, the the Uber, you know, fan analysis and picking it apart. Probably going to play through the whole thing once before I upload any content about it, because I just want to, I don't want to record anything. I don't want to worry about editing or anything. I'm just going to just enjoy it. Not going to do, I might do a blind, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play through the game Sonic, and then I'm going to do a blind playthrough. I'm going to record a blind playthrough for you guys with Knuckles. How about that? That's what we'll do. Who knows? They might even get different levels than Sonic. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to work it. I guess they'll probably do something like the different paths, just like in this game and everything, but yeah. And I'm going to see what I can do in terms of streaming, too. I might get a Sonic Mania, you know, hype stream going, maybe like after the first week. See how we can fit that into the schedule. Needless to say, we're gonna have some Sonic Mania content coming at you hard and fast. So keep a lookout for that, guys. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. Just let the credits roll, and see you next time.